Hello, everybody. I'm going to talk about Ana Kasparian and her pivots recently as of late. I made a video about this maybe more than a month ago when everybody was first excited about some of her quote unquote pivots. I really don't see these things as pivots. I've seen this kind of thing before, not only from a online YouTube political pundits, but somewhat on television and just with people in general. So I'm going to go ahead and explain what these pivots are first, in my mind. They're not pivots, they're complaints. Anna isn't pivoting to the right. She finally has enough guts or enough experience to complain about things she's seeing on the left that personally affect her. That's kind of the thing with women in politics. What they have a tendency to do is women have a tendency, and this has been shown in studies and stuff like that. Women with politics, they focus on issues that are central to their current existence. So their politicians, their political leanings are towards what's happening with my family, what's happening within my immediate neighborhood, what's happening with my wallet. So, over the last half a year, if not really a year, California, where Anna lives, has raised taxes, property taxes especially, made claims that they're going to get rid of every last standard vehicle and want everything replaced with electric or hybrid vehicles. They have begun attempting to build charging stations everywhere. Crime has skyrocketed statewide. Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, keeps doing things that, for some people, they're like, that doesn't make any sense. Stores all across the state are closing down because the police aren't allowed to capture and prosecute people unless they've stolen over $2,000 in one shot. Drugs and homelessness are increasing statewide. Now, Anna lives in this state, and last I checked, literally just a few hours ago, Anna is still making anywhere between $600,000 to $800,000 a year with her gig over at TYT. Now, she also works at a University of California, Northridge. So she has to be making at least $200,000 a year as a professor, if she's still there. I checked, and apparently as of at least 2022, she was there. And I don't know if she's there now, but let's just say she's there and she's making about $250,000 a year. She would have to be. In order to live in California, even regular middle class, you have to be making at least $250,000 a year. Standard. If you're going to be living middle class. Anywhere in the state. Although some places are probably a bit more expensive. So she's making anywhere between $800,000 to almost $1 million a year. Let's take out taxes and then say she's probably making just a little over $800,000 in total. Because, once them once them California taxes get a hold of your ass, yeah, they're going to take as much as they can. And Anna's got an accountant, trust me. She's got a good accountant that gives her every last advantage she can. She's not paying her taxes in full, believe me, okay? So what has happened is that Anna's wallet has been affected. Her mode of transportation has been affected. Her home has been affected. She has been affected. As some of you know, on the Stitch and Adams show, she admitted that a few months ago, she had been accosted and somewhat assaulted when she was out walking her dog. And she didn't tell anybody who the men were, what race they were. That wasn't important. What was important is what happened is while she was bent over cleaning up after her dog, one of these two guys grabbed her hips and basically simulated humping her for a few seconds before letting her go. And him and the guy walked off laughing. That would frighten anybody. I'm sorry that happened to her. I really, really am sorry that that happened to her. I may not agree with much of what she says, and I think she's a bit of a commie and a lesbian, and not a lesbian, commie and a leftist. But that doesn't mean you get to harm her or traumatize her. Sorry, those guys violated the NAP. So she's been affected in virtually every way possible that is within her little bubble of existence. So if we go outside of her nice little gated community, how far up the street before you see the nearest homeless camp, the nearest closed store? You see, it's all starting to affect her now. So now she's got something to complain about. Now she's got something to whine about. That's the pivot. The pivot is in, damn, I've been pushing for these policies for years, never thinking about the full-blown consequences, the long-term consequences, because it seemed to be helping the poor and minorities and the workers. No, it isn't, Anna. It never was, and now you're just figuring it out, because now it's appearing in your backyard. Now it's coming up upon you. Now it's going to harm your wallet, perhaps affect your safety and your happiness within your home. So now she's looking at things, she's going, well, okay, I can't agree with this because now I can see the long term. Now she has to look at it and say, gosh, all of these policies that I used to love Gavin Newsom for, oops. So it's not a pivot. It's the same thing that Tim Pool used to do when he first got started. He would tell you, well, I'm still on the left. I'm still a registered Democrat voter, but, some of the stuff that the left is doing, I just can't agree with it. It's the same thing with Anna. She's still on the left. She's still a progressive. She just doesn't agree with what's going on in California right now. Now, if she wasn't living in California and none of these problems were touching her, she'd still be singing the praises of glorious Governor Gavin Newsom. She still think everything was great. And all the conservatives complaining are just racist, bigoted homophobes. But if you guys are expecting her to wake up one morning and come on TYT and say, guys, I'm really thinking about voting for Trump. No. She starts spouting right-wing talking points. No, that's not going to happen either. She is a journalist, by the way. That's what she teaches over at the Northridge University, or the Northridge campus. She teaches broadcast journalism and standard journalism. She's been doing that since 2013. So she's made a lot of money. It may be some of her students are coming to her and saying, "Hey, look, I see what you're doing with TYT, but I see what you say here. Looking a little hypocritical." Maybe that's what's bothering her. Because I did read a number of reviews from her former students. A lot of them all say the same thing. She's a nice teacher. She's a good teacher. She's okay. But she's biased all the hell. She's more teaching about ideology than she is about the subject matter. I see her work on her show, but I see her work here, and she looks a lot like a hypocrite to me. I don't know what I got out of this class, but I guess I got an A. From some guys, I got an A, but I don't know what else I got out of the damn class. So I don't know if she's still teaching there. If she is, then so be it. I'm not dissing anybody for making money, but I will say up front, Anna, you making at least $800,000 to maybe almost $1 million a year, and her hubby. This guy's an actor, a minor league baseball player, and a vocalist singer. This guy's got to be making money out the ass too. So it's not like she can't. It's not like she's suffering. Trust me, she's not suffering at all. She's just realizing the side effects, you might say, of all of that policy that she embraced years ago. Now, the chickens are coming home to roost. But like I said, guys, if you're expecting her to suddenly wake up one morning and vote Trump and Orange Man good and all that crap, no. Give her another 5 years if crap keeps going the way it's going over in California. within 5 years, she might be telling you to vote independent. Or, vote for this guy. He's not as bad as the other guy, She might see some of that coming down the line. Now, I guess I need to quickly mention Chank's pivoting. Chank isn't pivoting. He's just... Chank, from what I can tell, him and Anna are friends. If Anna's had enough, he's going to pull back a little bit. And I think some of what's going on is that this raving and ranting, this puppetless puppet show shit that he does, I think it's finally starting to annoy her. And I think she's finally kind of giving him the look of, look, will you shut the fuck up with that shit? Stop. Okay? You've been doing this for almost 10 years with me. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. And I think it's kind of like, he's like, oh, damn, she's kind of pissy. I don't want to have her mad at me. He's not simp or anything, but he this is his co-host. This is the person that stuck by him through thick and thin for over 10 years now. Yeah, try to make your co-host happy. What can I say? The man's been married for years, too. He knows how to deal with women, okay? He's got the experience. He's got the experience of being married for quite some time, so I guess he's learned a little something. But I don't think Chank is pivoting either. Now, there is one other thing I will mention. If TYT is having as much financial problems as is, they may be doing these little pivots, these little slightly left of center things, because they realize that they've been running the same game now for years of left, progressive, and there's no argument. Everything has to be on the left. Everything has to be progressive. So what if they go to the right of Mao just a little bit? To the right of progressivism just a little bit. And something that they think everybody will say, oh, yeah, I kind of see where going too far to the left would be a bad thing. So it's okay that we stay in the center or off to the right a little bit, because that's not as extreme. Okay? It's like most recently one of the things is saying, look, I don't agree with abortion at 9 months. The kid's popping out of the womb and you want to go ahead and cut it, stabby, kill it. No, I don't agree with that. No leftist agrees with that. I can't think of any leftist that I've ever seen or heard on TV that would agree with apparently infanticide, because that's what that is. So Anna and Chank can both sit back and say, well, wait a minute. Whoa, terminating it right at 8 months and 30 days? No, that's infanticide. That child is viable. They can live outside of the womb. What? No woman would do that. I don't see where you guys are getting this from. We've never advocated for that. Yes, we have. Which lies straight to your fucking face. Because they realize even the leftists is just like, fuck no, man. No, we're not killing babies around here. When they're 6 or 7 months in the womb, yeah, okay. But 9 months? Oh, fuck no. Let the kid slide on up out of there and go get him adopted or some shit. I think what you're going to see is not necessarily pivots, but more of a refashioning of their beliefs on things, especially when somebody confronts them and say, hey, look, you got these guys over here claiming they're one of y'all saying this. Then they will find a place where they can pivot just slightly away from what appears to be the extreme left opinion. They'll find that nice little sweet spot where they can say, well, I don't agree with that level of extreme, but the other levels of extreme. If extreme is like 12, can we crank it down to maybe 9? We know actually the extreme level is 10, but, if it's 12, can we crank it down to 9? Maybe 8. Yeah, 8. 8's good. 8's good. We're only executing the baby in the womb at 7 months instead of at 9. Okay, or maybe 6. Yeah, we can go along with 6. 6 is all right. That's basically what you're going to get. They're going to find these little sweet spots with all of this progressiveness that is not only extreme, but it's abso-fucking-lutely losing, and they're going to pivot to that. And what they're going to do is when they pivot to that, that will give them leeway to support Biden as well, because Biden isn't anywhere near as extreme as they are. So that'll give them their pivot to Biden. Well, we have to support Biden because Biden supports a lot of the stuff that we support. Because they're going to have to go along with Biden at some point. They're going to have to say at some point that they support Biden. So in 2024, expect them suddenly to be all down for Biden. But they will have set you up all throughout 2023 with these so-called little pivots to the right that, Biden's not so bad. Unless they got somebody else they come up with in the last minute. Then they'll support that person too, more so than Biden. But at the end of the day, folks, like I said, I wouldn't worry. You're not going to tune into TYT within the next year or two, and Anna's all of a sudden full-blown right-wing, or Chank as well, or Buddy, or Black Predator, or any of the other smiling cockamamie Harley Quinn types that seem to be popping up on TYT lately. So don't get too excited, folks. I'm just, don't get mad at me either. I'm just telling you what the deal is. Ana Kasparian is not going to suddenly wake up and be a conservative, or slightly to the right, or even independent. Nope. She's a dyed-in-the-wool leftist, and she's going to stay there until either the left starts throwing people like her in gulags. All right, everybody, have a good day.